Hey, Sean.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. Do you want to give me a bit of a backstory on I've Got Your Back then, and we'll start there?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, where it started was just over 10 years ago now. There was a time frame of about 18 months in Canada that there was over 120 first responders that had died by suicide.
Mm.
And Jill and I had just got done school. We just started into the career, and this was all happening. And, again, nobody was talking about it. It was very hush hush. Um, and so, one night over some nachos and a couple cocktails, we just kind of decided, you know what, let's just kind of create this safe space and create a message for what's going on in
Yeah.
Canada and globally. And so we just started writing on a couple bar napkins, started writing some names down that we thought we might be able to use. And then once we wrote a name down, then we start on our phones and we do a search and see how many sites came up. And we got to I've Got Your Back, and it was only a couple sites that came up. And then we just thought, well, let's add 911. So we did so, and nothing came up. And we're like,
Perfect.
that's it. And so from there, we decided over the next 2 days, we're going to create all the social media pages and just a pretty rudimentary website. And we didn't want our names attached to it. We didn't want anything. We just wanted to be about the cause.
Mm.
And within about 3 or 4 days, we had over 600 messages sent to us, just basically people saying, what is this? Who's doing this? This is great.
Wow.
This is much needed. And then we couldn't hide from it anymore. We had to basically come out and say who we were. And then, you know, we pooled our money together. We went and made a bunch of t-shirts, took them to some of our CAC locations, started handing them out. And then we just started taking some pictures with I've Got Your Back 911 written on a piece of paper in front of our ambulance. And the first picture that we did, Joe was on my back, and we were hanging on to it. And then once we started doing that, we've just gotten inundated with all these
Mm.
photos been sent to us over 10 years now of people doing that in front of their service vehicles.
Mm.
And so what we do currently is we have a retail store, we have an online store, and through the sale of all of our goods, we take that money, turn it around, and then we donate that back out to organizations that directly help first responders with their mental health. We've donated almost $1 million in 10 years,
Wow.
and we're humbled every day with the support that we get for I've Got Your Back. We used to get so excited when, we'd ship out like 10 packages a week or 20 packages a month kind of thing. And then it grew and grew. And then it's, 1,000 packages a month, 1,500 packages a month, depending on what time of year it is. And, it's pretty crazy. It really is.
Mm. How big's the team now then?
We still only have 5 people.
Wow.
So it's gotten to the point where Jill and I can't run the day-to-day business. We've got a one manager that looks after the retail store and the online store, and then Tara looks after our warehouse, all of our bulk orders and stuff, ordering of a lot of our product, housing it at the warehouse. So, and then Jill and I just kind of do what we do, and we're still both medics on the road every day.
Mm.
So, we really look at that management team to be able to run the day-to-day business for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then now you've created an app, which is a huge step. So walk me through
Yeah,
that.
it's kind of like that next generation for us, and it was just the next logical step. We won an award in London, and it's the Breakfast of Champions Award. And so somebody nominated us as a small business that champions mental health for first responders. Um, and we won our category. So here I am accepting an award in front of about 1,200 people at this breakfast. And then we get approached afterwards by a couple of these tech guys that, have this platform that they've created, but it's, pretty basic. And, so they want my input. They want to, collaborate with our brand, with our reputation over the last 10 years. So over the course of about a year, it took us to really fine tune this thing and get it to where we want it. We thought we had it pretty dialed in. Then there was an organization that we deal a lot with, and we financially support them since their inception, and they're called Boots on the Ground, and they
Hmm.
specialize in peer support
Yeah.
for first responders. Their mission is very much in line with ours. You know, our app is completely anonymous, 100% confidential. Boots on the ground when you call in there for assistance. Again, they have no location services. They got no caller ID or anything. So again, completely anonymous. One of the best things about that organization is if you're a first responder and you're calling in there to get assistance, you're going to speak to either a current or retired police officer, firefighter, paramedic,
Mm.
corrections officer, military, or dispatch. So you're going to talk to a like-minded individual. You're going to talk to somebody that knows the stresses of your job, what you deal with on a daily basis. And you're not going to spend the first hour of your conversation basically trying to explain what you do.
Mhm.
So this app is exactly that. Our platform is 100% confidential, 100% anonymous. You have a couple options. What we do is we get this into the service. The service adopts this and rolls it out to all of their members. Okay. There's a generic community code that we create for that service. Everybody for that service logs in this exact same way with the same generic code. This allows people to be able to get into the app where we have a drop-down menu that basically has maybe 4 or 5 different options for them to say why they're needing assistance. Is it substance abuse? Is it job related? Is it a fatal call? Is it a personal relationship? Whatever that looks like. Then they get into the app itself, and then they got a couple different options. There's a one dialer that goes right to 911. There's the option to use your own internal peer support team. And if I enter into that, I enter into a chat. Everybody on your peer support team that we've got set up in the back end, as soon as I request some support from our peer support team, everybody gets notified that somebody's asked for support. Everybody's phone goes off. As soon as the first person picks that up to offer assistance, it then disappears from everybody else's phone. Then they go ahead and they chat back and forth. And in that chat, you're going to see that Sean is the peer supporter. You're going to see my name. And then you being the other person that is asking for the assistance, it's just going to say anonymous. So at any given time, if a police officer's been in under investigation and somebody subpoenas some information, there's nothing there that's going to identify that officer that's looking for assistance.
Okay.
Okay. Once that assistance is done and they've been given all of the, you know, um, resources from that service in order to get the help that they need, then it's deleted and nothing is kept. All
Mm.
that chat is gone. It's deleted. There's no location services, nothing. We don't keep anything. The other option is if you don't want to use your own interior support, peer support team for a whole host of reasons. It's a small service. Somebody's going to recognize who you are just because you're describing a certain call and everybody knows who was on that call.
Mm.
No problem. If you don't want to use your internal peer support team, then you click boots on the ground and it's a one button dialer that goes right to boots on the ground. You can have that initial conversation. And that's where we really think that this is beneficial. We want to have that first interaction. We want to get that person that's looking for assistance, have that conversation with them, get them out of that headspace that they're currently in, and offer them the resources that they need. So that's our whole goal with this. This is not a wellness app. This is strictly peer support. We
Mhm.
don't want to tell your people how many scoops of vegetables they need, how many hours of sleep that they need. We don't want to tell them that. We just want to get this in the hands of all of our first responders
Mhm.
so people stop dying.
That's awesome. When did you launch it?
We launched it about 4 months ago now.
Okay. And how's it been?
It's been good. It's been a lot of meetings, a lot of Zoom calls. We have some services that have joined on. London Police is coming on right now, London EMS. We're in the final stages of launching them. We have multiple CAC locations that have come on and are using it. Kingsville Fire is on. Minto Fire is joining as well. So it's going very well. Very time consuming,
Mm.
obviously. Just doing some teaching, introducing it to everybody. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create the new standard for services and looking after their people, the health of their people, the health of their workforce. And this is one great way to be able to see the health of your people. And the back end of this, it allows your peer support leads to look and see how many people have asked for assistance. Still don't know who they are individually,
Mhm.
but you can see how many people have asked for assistance through the app, whether it's coming through their peer support team or whether it's going through boots on the ground. Through that drop-down menu, we can see why they're asking for support, which is also very helpful. So at the end of the year, you can literally take all this data and information, take it to your chief,
Mm,
take it to that senior management and say, listen, this is what we're seeing here. This is why we need this app. This is how healthy our people are. So there's a couple other things with that as well. In the past, it's never been able to capture the data like if you're at a social event and there's a bunch of your peers there, you're at headquarters and somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, you know what? I know that you're on the peer support team. I'm really struggling after that call that I had last week. I'm looking for some resources. I need you to point me in the right direction." I say, no problem at all. Once I get back to my desktop, I'm going to send you some resources that you can reach out to, and this is where you should be going.
mm,
After that, I can literally open up my app, hit the plus sign, and I can say in their drop-down menu why they're looking for assistance. And I can just say, I had a sidebar conversation with a member today, pointed him in the right direction, offered him resources, and then I save it. That has now been collected.
mm,
So that data is now reflected in the back end.
mm,
Still no names, still nothing that identifies
mm.
anybody, but now that is added to your list of people that have asked for assistance and it helps your business case at the end of the year, right? So that's never been done before, to my knowledge. And if that's one conversation a year, maybe it's 15 conversations a year, maybe depending on the size of the service, it could be 300 conversations a year. You now are able to capture that, which is
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Uh,
quantifying has always been the trouble for peer support
I
teams
agree.
because not being able to quantify it at the end of the year, administrations really would only notice the positive impact of the team that the team has had over the years if they stop doing the work for 5 years.
Correct.
So, and they
Yeah.
know we're not going to stop doing the work. So, it's great that you're able to capture that.
Yeah. So another really important thing is we're going to actually be able to see live data on this. So we're going to see those live trends as they're happening. So say after the first quarter of the year, we look at that data and go, why do we have a huge spike in alcohol related assistance calls? Okay, so this is alarming. This is rather big jump than what we normally have. And when we look at that and see how many people are off because of those same reasons, we can then see those trends. We can go to management, we can go to our chief and say, listen, this is what we're experiencing right now. This is why our people are off. We need to maybe get out some resources, allocate some of those dollars and, have some resilience training for our people, maybe make them more aware, maybe find a therapist in our area that deals with first responders, trauma and alcohol addiction and offer that as another resource for our people. But we can literally see these live trends as they're happening and get on it right away, rather than taking a retrospective look and 5 years down the road and you go, wow, look at the last 5 years. Look at all these calls for alcohol addiction and requests for help. Man, I wish I would have saw this back then. We can literally see that as it's happening now.
Yeah, it can help you focus your proactive education on that
For sure.
topic for that year.
Yep.
Awesome.
One of the other things is two other really important things with this app that we're really committed to, because we don't just look at this as the first responder themselves. When you have that support system at home, some people don't have it. Some people have a great support system. Some people have a support system, but you know what? Take it or leave it, whatever that looks like. But I know, being a first responder for the last 15 years, what impacts me because of my job can impact my family, can impact the people that are there to assist me, help me, and be there to support me. So we encourage these services once they bring on the app and roll it out to all of their members, that we offer this to the family members too, that husband, that wife, that partner, the kids. We offer that community code to them as well. And if they need to reach out and get assistance because they're struggling dealing with what I'm bringing home, they can get that assistance as well. No charge. We offer that in the maintenance fee that we're already looking for. The other thing is too, is we encourage these peer support teams to reach out to all the retired members. Well, I know that I can do 25 years in this job and I can leave this job, but the job doesn't leave me. That 25 years stays with me for the rest of my life. A lot of these first responders, when they leave, They don't have anything. They don't have any assistance. They don't have those sort of resources to reach out to and get the help that they need. So then again, we're encouraging these peer support groups, these wellness divisions in these services to offer this community code to all the retirees as well and allow them to get assistance if they need it as well. Again, no extra charge at all. This is just what we feel is the best, and this is why we're doing it.
Excellent. Is it
Yeah.
just in Ontario? Is it nationwide?
Right now, we're it's Canada wide right now. We're dealing and talking with some services in almost every province right now. We've actually spoke to a couple services down in the United States as well because this is a global issue. This is a global problem for
Mhm.
sure. But it's going to really start to take traction. And once we create this standard, and this is what needs to happen, then away we go. But we feel that the right thing to do is to offer this to not only the first responders, but the retirees and their
Mhm.
families as well.
Yeah, I'm sure even if you aren't able to manage offering, the assistance for the states, many other departments might pick up and learn from what you've done and just take it upon themselves to create their own.
Yep. Yep.
That's excellent.
So
Um, Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering what you have a lot on your plate right now. Maybe it's hard to see what's in the future, but do you have any plans for the future beyond this?
Oh, well, we're pretty new into this venture right now, so
Right.
we'll see how this takes off and where this goes. But one of the other things that we're really focusing on as well with this app is we've now gone into some of the colleges and presented to some of the colleges and done some
Excellent.
demos with the colleges for all of these emergency service programs that they have, whether it's paramedic program, police foundations, security, whether it's communications. Um, we feel that if we can get these people that are very tech savvy to start using this app because they're going to be doing ride outs while they're still going to school. They can go out and they can do a ride out and they can see some pretty wicked traumas. And they come back to school the next day. What do they have to help them? They really don't.
Right.
So we want to get this into their hands as well so that they get used to using this app, they get used to using this technology, but they also have those resources that they can reach out and they can ask for assistance because, this is totally new to them. Nothing compares you for what you're going to see and do out there on the road for sure. So we've had some pretty big meetings with some of the colleges and we're trying to progress that way as well and get it in the hands of these students as they go through their education process as well.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad we
Yeah,
could talk about it and get the word out, and hopefully more and more people hear about it and make use of it. It's tremendous that you've done
absolutely.
this work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're just forging ahead. We're trying to, make as many contacts as we can, get it out there and, talk as much as we can, get it in and create that new standard for these services and for first responders.
It's awesome. You guys should be very proud.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
All
it.
right.